quality of the videos, and also so that I don't have to look at myself talking. This is a lot more comfortable, I think. I'm trying new things, I can do whatever. Hopefully nobody calls in the middle and ruins the video. And yeah. So today I had another interesting conversation. Well, I have interesting conversations all the time. But there was something I felt like should be shared. Up until this moment, I have no idea what I'm gonna call this video or what exactly it's gonna be about. But because there's, how everything connects to everything. So when you think about the concept and then it goes and you think about something that's connected to it, etc., etc., until you're like talking about so many. It's like a good conversation. When you have a really good conversation with someone and it just flows, So imagine that with yourself in your brain. You know how it is. So right now I'm waiting for my eggs to cook. So I should look at the time. Yeah. I'm making eggs. And so I might have to pause in the middle and go check it out. Anyway. So I had a conversation I had a few, and I'm gonna talk about a few of them. And so the first one, we spoke about this channel and what I'm doing right now, and this might be too loud. And I told him about how I'm making it raw, I'm not emphasizing the marketing or I'm just I'm not putting too much effort into trying to make myself look good, because I'm not trying to sell anything, basically, but at the same time I am trying to sell something, right? So, which is views, right? So, am I really? It doesn't cost, well, everything costs. So everything has a price. Everything you do costs you your time. So you need to be vigilant about your time and how you spend it. So what I'm trying to do, he told me something very smart. He told me, imagine that every video you make, you're getting paid for $1,000, right? 1,000 euros. Which is an interesting way to say it. See, the thing is, because I'm not doing this for money, I do get the point, right? You treat it as if it is already there, right? And so that's how you create it. And so and people will want to watch you, and it will be worth that amount because you put that much effort into it. But then again, what drives you really? Because if I'm trying to give something, trying to give value, I have no value about trying to make myself look good, right? But then, or like, those clickbaits, titles and all that shit, like there's something wrong about it. We're going back to intentions, right? If my intention, but I do have something to share, something that I think people will enjoy. So we have a saying in Hebrew, "Amatara mekadeshet et ha'emtzaim," which means the goal blesses the means. So like if I'm trying to give something good, right? Marketing it well and putting effort into making it look attractive would be blessed by the goal, right? Because the goal is good, so maybe I should. And I thought, well, there are many ways to increase quality, and maybe it's too soon to think about it, but I thought about making videos outside, etc. Improving the lighting, everything. There's so much to do, but there's a lot to think about, especially for someone who has 0 views right now. So I'm like really going ahead, but I want to build, like if I want to build an empire, and if I want to build a safe place, and I want it to be, well, to reach as many people as possible, then I should think about that. But then again, so it came down to, because he said people have a short attention span, etc. He's right, absolutely. And he also, that people first buy with their eyes, right? So you see the thumbnail, you see the title, and then you click it. First you buy with your eyes. Again, he's completely right. And that should be taken into consideration. But when in the actual video, my idea is that if I bring value, people that are watching videos for to pass the time or for cheap entertainment, they are not my audience, right? I want to reach everyone, but they are not my real audience target, because I'm trying to bring actual value, not just cheap entertainment, which I might bring as well. I mean, anything is possible. The point is, they're not my target audience, so why would I care about that? If I'm aiming, if I'm trying to catch a goldfish, right? I'm not gonna use chocolate, and I'm not gonna use strawberry. I'm gonna use whatever it likes, right? But then again, that's again with intentions. What is your intention? I'm not trying to catch a goldfish. I'm not trying to catch. No, but I am trying to reach as many people as possible that I think could benefit from this. So I learned a lot from that conversation, and well, the thing is, since I'm aiming for people who are looking for deep meaning, and I believe that they will find this, that the right people that it should touch will see through the shallow, the non-production, at least for now, maybe in the future, of course, I will have hopefully people I can hire, or like people that would like to help, and we could make something, if people will follow my goal, my mission, and together we can create something really big and change lives. I believe change the world eventually. That's the ultimate goal. I mean, what else is there to do? Why do anything else? I'm trying to change the world, so I have to think about everything, my own intentions. Well, So it's a filter, right? If I'm not purposefully making anything bad, but the fact that I don't wanna create content, as I said many times. I'm trying to create value. And I believe when I do get some views, people that will appreciate it will be real people that will connect with me on a real level, not on a shallow surface level. I believe, and I don't want this to be a one-way street either. It will be a two-way street. I want to connect with people, and I don't just want to preach to people. I want to be there and have them know that I am there with them, because I never had that. Well, the second conversation. Before that, let me just check that my eggs are. You see this masterpiece of it's tomatoes, caramelized onion and eggs. If you never try this, trust me, you want to do this. Anyway, back to the topic. So the second conversation was a continuation of the first one, really. Not the first one today, but the one from yesterday. About, being alone, basically, is what it came down to. We spoke about heartbreak, right? And the lessons that we learn from it and how to learn from it. Since again, every pain is a lesson, every single pain, even heartbreaks. So we continued and we spoke about many stuff, but the main thing was that I told him, because he was already looking for other girls, right? And it's a clear sign that of trying to fill that void that we talked about. And I told him, how about being alone? And he said that he believes he knows how to be alone. He's alone. He has been alone for months. And so I told him, until you're completely content, 100%, and completely content, truthfully, honestly, with being alone for whichever time period, forever, until that moment, you don't know how to be alone. Because even though you are alone for a period of time, you live in a place mentally that is yearning for that relationship, that connection. So you're not really alone, in a sense that you put your happiness aside until you find that relationship. So you're not really alone from a choice, or you're alone not from your choice. Like you would rather be in a relationship instead of being completely unfazed by either that or this. Like, it shouldn't matter to you at all if you're in a relationship or not. You should be accepting it, whatever it is, that condition you're in. And if you met the thing is, it's not about being in a relationship. It's about finding a,
'Cause
soul, another soul that,
'cause 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 'c
do this journey with, and another soul that you're connected to on a soul level, that you have a contract with. It's not about being in a relationship, or it's not about getting and finding love. You already are love. You have love. Love yourself, right? It's not about that. It's about sharing a journey and being able to help each other through that journey, which is this cycle of life. There's not a lot more to it. You should do it with a soul connection. That is the only thing I will say that is necessary. You could create a new connection. The point is, like, it doesn't have to be an old connection, but the point is, it can, don't waste your time with a pure connection. Make it a soul level connection. Don't settle for less, otherwise you're wasting your time. Like, in the greatest sense, you can't waste your time because we're infinite, right? But you are wasting your time if you look at it like, if you're trying to know yourself and your soul and grow and learn. You're wasting your time because you're not, instead of doing that, you're idealing. You're just, which is fine if that's what you want to do. I mean, you might have came to this world with that intention, like just having fun, you know. So you could be born really rich, beautiful, and like you have no problems, no real problems, because you earned it, like in former lives, let's say, quote unquote. So the thing is, you have to know that you're never alone. That's the lesson, really. When you're alone enough, you learn that you're never really alone. So act like it and feel it, because you're not alone. So that's why you really need to be alone. So I told him that he has to learn to be content completely to be alone in order to be able to, because otherwise he will bring that neediness, right, to the next relationship. So, and the love that he will give will not be pure. It will be expecting a return, right? And real love, true love, is something that is given freely and unconditionally, and it doesn't require a return. It doesn't require reciprocate, like a reply. It doesn't require anything. It's just something that is given, that is created. It's something that we are eventually, and that's what we're doing here, finding the path. So being alone could be very painful until you learn that, but when you do, it's so freeing. It will free you, as long as you don't lie to yourself. When you do go through the dark night of the soul, so to speak, you do go through that pain. You don't just say, oh, I've been alone for so many months. Man, people have been alone for years and tens of years and their entire lives, and haven't learned to be alone for real. They just got used to it. It's not about being passively alone. It's about, if God has put you in a position, like we spoke before, He put you, He let you be alone, and He put you in a position that you are alone. Not necessarily relationship-wise, but in any, like, you're completely alone. You might not even have family, you know. Then learn from it, like, make the best of it. Which brings us back to the Confucius quote, if a lion chases me up a tree, right, then I will greatly enjoy the view. Make the best of the situation, right? So that is what we, well, so that connects to being alone with make the best of the situation. So if you're alone and you know you're alone and there's nothing you can do about it, why not make the best of it? So on a lower scale, so he was stuck in traffic at that time, and so he stopped his car, right? And he was like, fuck this, I'm gonna wait till this is crazy, the weather is crazy, traffic is insane, I'm just gonna be here and do something like, and he was just waiting, right? So I told him, well, you got in a situation, right? God put you in a situation, make the best of it, go do something. Why don't you go eat something good? Like, why don't you go treat yourself to something like fun? Go have fun, make the best of the situation, you know? So he did. So he went to a bar, actually, and got beer and food, and got to know some people and made plans, like he got to know them, got friendly with them, and so that bad thing, quote unquote, like that shitty situation that he got himself into, like the traffic and the weather at the same time, and he was so tired, turned into a good thing, right? And he could enjoy himself at that moment, and that's all that mattered. So the traffic didn't matter at that moment. He turned it into a good situation. He climbed that tree and he enjoyed the view. So that goes ultimately to being alive in the moment, but we're not gonna go there. So the video cut off because I ran out of memory on my phone. So okay, let's get back to it. So we spoke, and he said, I feel like I do know how to be alone. And then I explained that to him, and the thing is, so he kept saying, yeah, I know how to be alone. I've been alone for months. But how long can you really be alone? You know, he was like, but for real, like, there is a limit, right? Like, you don't want to be alone forever. And I said, yeah, you do. If you have to, I mean, you should be completely content with it, whatever amount of time it is. Doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is being full, being fulfilled, being that if you are in a relationship, it's out of a choice, not necessity. That when you do, and I asked, don't you owe it to yourself? Don't you owe it to your future wife, your future partner? Don't you owe it to yourself to be the best that you can be, and that the love you give her is actual love, and that you actually mean it, and it's not coming out of a need but out of a want to give, that you choose her, you don't need her? Isn't that better? So sometimes we look for pleasure to cover the pain. We try to erase it by finding pleasure and excitement and momentary gratification. But it doesn't fix the problem, right? So you might feel like you might get your heart broken and you might have a breakup, and if your ego is speaking, if it's love, you will let go and you will say I accept. But if it's ego, you might, and it could be a mix, right? But you might fight it, and you might focus on the fact that you don't have her anymore instead of her being happy. And it goes to both sexes, right? I'm just saying. So you need to learn where is it coming from, that affection that you're giving. You owe it, because otherwise you don't know even yourself, right? And if it's not love, if it's not pure love, well, there's something you need to learn so that you can give that love. Because if you can't give it out, you can't give it in, right? You need to learn it so that you can give it to yourself first. And it's a lesson. So every relationship is a lesson, and you can learn from everything and everyone. And you can also learn how not to be, you know? So we spoke about this. He said, I'm going to weddings and I see so many married people and so many couples. And I said, yeah, me too. He said, they're looking at me weird and they're talking weird, and they're looking down at you. And I'm like, first of all, that's in your head. You don't know what they're thinking, because they might be jealous of you, right? Being single, attractive, young, you have much to look up to you for. So, secondly, why do you care what they think? What do you think? Do you like your situation or not? Is it something that you want, or are you just shamed about how they might see it? So you have to be content and full with it. And because I told him I am in the exact same situation, and when I go to weddings and I am the only single, usually there are more people, if you are fair, but even if I'm just looking at them completely I'm not even the slightest, like I told him, when I see them, I'm like, poor them, like they are grounded. They can't do whatever they want, like, because I'm a free soul, so I want to be able to do whatever I want. Not to say that I will never be in a committed relationship, but maybe I won't. I'm fine with it, whatever happens, I just want to do whatever I came here to do, so I don't have to repeat it over and over. So I want to do my job. That's why I'm making these videos, and I hope I'm blessed by it to be able to learn about myself as well, so that I can be the best version and complete my journey, But that's for another video. So when I go to weddings, I'm not jealous at all. And so it's a matter of perspective, right? And so you feel what you focus on, and how you, like, we are looking at the same thing, we're having the same experience, but he's feeling different because he's looking at it different. So we create our own experience, our own world, our own. We see the world as we are, not as it is, right? Forgot you said it. It's so true. We create our reality on a way deeper level than you might imagine. Way deeper than that. That's just the tip of the iceberg, right? But it's an interesting thing to know, because when you learn it, so I told him, well, you are in control. I told him, look at it this way, because he wanted to be in a relationship so much. I told him, imagine you had kids right now in a relationship. I mean, right now you can do whatever you want, right? You don't have a boss, you don't have a wife, you don't have commitments, not really, that you can't say no to. You can just fly and travel, or go to do something you love, and like, no one can tell you nothing. You can do whatever you want. You are your own master. You don't have these outside commitments. Look at the bright side, right? Imagine if you didn't have it, if you had kids. So you're looking at all the good stuff other people might have, you're romanticizing it, but you're forgetting yourself, what you have. So it's a matter of you. So I told him that ultimately the problem is you keep looking outside and comparing yourself. Well, I didn't say it quite in those words, but I will. But I told him, that's basically what I told him. You're looking outside for approval and for people, you're comparing yourself, so you'll never be happy, because there's always someone with something that you don't have, or better something, or better at something. There's always, so you need to be happy with what you have. J. Cole has a song that's really good about that. What was it? No such thing as a life that's better than yours. That goes like the chorus. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing. I forgot the name, but you should look it up. Yeah. And on that note, the video might be a little shorter. I'm not sure. I don't see the time. I think we got the point, and so, you know what? In conclusion, before I go, the point is not only realizing what you need to learn and looking within to find those answers, so you can move on and advance and grow and do it honestly. It's not only about that, it's about internalizing it and doing it. As someone smart said, I don't remember that one as well who said it, but don't talk about your philosophy, embody it. So act in that way. Don't talk about it, do it. Because intellectually you can know something but never do it. So theoretically you could be so rich but you need to act on it, you know, and look at the world and realize that you are creating. So you're creating, whether it's a good situation or a bad situation, you're creating it. You can make the best out of a good, the best out of the bad, or you can make the worst out of the good. It's how you look at it. And I told him, don't you like that you're in complete control and free? Imagine, don't forget that there is a price to everything. And you could be in a relationship and it could have its pluses. But look at the bright side instead of looking at the dark side, you know? And then you will feel that. Yeah. On that note, remember always, we are gods, immortal souls in temporary bodies. Don't be afraid. See you next time.